Hello again, and we're carrying on with right angled triangles. Got another question here. This time we're asked to find an angle. So looking at the two basic things that we have, trigonometry, that's SOHCAHTOA, and Pythagoras, we know that it can't be Pythagoras because Pythagoras never uses anything with angles in it. Must be SOHCAHTOA. Always when it's SOHCAHTOA, start by labelling the sides. We have the hypotenuse and the adjacent. A and H go together to give us cos. So I'm going to start by writing out cos of theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Substitute in what we know. Cos of x, x is the angle, that's the name, is equal to the adjacent, which is 20, over 30. Now this is something we haven't seen much of. It's using trying to work out what the angle is. And you should know that we use the inverse cos in order to do that. So it's cos minus 1 on the calculator. Use shift and then press cosine. Okay, so that gives me x equals cos minus 1 of 20 over 30. Now we have it in something that says x equals, we can just type that in the calculator to get the answer. X equals 48.2 for this one. So, going back over the steps, number one, I had to choose what to do. So my first thing was, what am I going to be doing? I decided it must be cosine because it couldn't be Pythagoras. And since we were looking for an angle, and it was A and H together, so it was cosine. Next up, substitute in the values. Then we rearrange it so that it says x equals, and then we use the calculator to find the answer. Okay. Great, another question has appeared. It's another right angled triangle. So it can either be Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. Well, looking at this one, we're trying to find the length of the hypotenuse, but we only have one side, so it must be SOHCAHTOA. That means start by labelling the sides. This is the hypotenuse, this is the opposite, must be using sine. Let's write out the formula. Sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Right, should know the next step now. We've labelled the sides and chosen our correct ratio to use. Our next step is to substitute in what we know. Sine of theta, theta is the angle, which is 10, is equal to opposite, which is 5.4, divided by the hypotenuse. In this case, our hypotenuse is called x. So I'm going to replace h with the letter x. Okay, I need to rearrange this. And in class, in lessons, I've tried to show you that the shortcut here is that we can swap those positions. If we have x on the bottom of the fraction, what we need to do, if we go out and do it all in longhand, is we firstly times both sides by x. So we get x sine 10 equals 5.4. And then we divide both sides by sine 10. So x equals 5.4 divided by sine 10. But we can shortcut that and go straight to the answer because we know that x is equal to 5.4 over sine 10. You should learn that shortcut. You should know that that is the equivalent of timesing by x and dividing by sine 10 and doing it in one go. We now need to use the calculator to do that because it says x equals, so we type in the calculator 5.4 divided by, or over, using the fraction button if you'd like to, over sine 10, don't forget to close the brackets, x is equal to 31.1 degrees. Be careful with your rounding up. Okay, I think that's enough examples. You need to go and do some work. Find some examples and practice.